in conversation with Vedanta Iron Ore Business Head and CEO, Mr. Kishore Kumar. Welcome, Mr. Kumar. My first question is, today you begin your iron ore mining business in Goa. How good and big day it is today?
Yeah, it's been a big struggle over the last 3 years, and since the Supreme Court approved the lifting of the ban in April 2014, there has been significant effort by all the stakeholders to get us the consent to operate. And since we received the first approval from the Goa State Pollution Control Board for the Kodli mines, so here we are to commence mining. So we have started the day with a ceremonial puja, and hopefully once the monsoon peters away, the mining would commence.
Globally, the market is not doing well in terms of metal prices, and there's little margin, and especially you have low-grade iron ore here in Goa. So what strategy do you have to sell these iron ore which you will be mining from this August?
See, there are two aspects. One aspect is the prices, which have melted down over the last 6 months. And the other aspect is what proportion of cost can you contain, because ultimately it's for us to manage our costs, and we are not price takers. So if you look at from that perspective, we have a lot to do in terms of managing our costs. And when I say cost, it includes the mining costs, the logistics costs, the duties and taxes that we are imposed. So overall, there is a room for us to improve from every stakeholder who's in this business. And the economics of mining will ultimately dictate the operations, and therefore we will start this mine economically. Yes, those days of high margins are over. The prices have come down, melted from $140 to now as low as $30–35 FOB Goa. So the struggle, the challenge will be on, and we have appealed to all stakeholders to come to the party. Since the cake has shrunk, everybody has to be part of this game.
So what is your margins going to be like now that you are starting from this year? How will you recover 3 years which you have lost due to mining ban? And how tough will it be for the largest miner in Goa to manage its margin?
See, the margins are a factor of 3 or 4 things. One, the scale of operation. As you know, Goa state has been given a limited EC of 20 million tons. So within the 20 million tons scale, it is very difficult to manage the cost of production below $20. But if you look at all the global players like Rio, Vale, BHP, they have brought down their costs to low 18s and low 15s. So there has been aggressive play by all senior industry players to bring down the cost of production. And it will be in the interest of India and the Goa state and all the other states as well to lift the cap, because the cap comes on the way of achieving your scale. And once the scale of production is in, you can expect costs in India also to behave in global parlance. At the same time, we have also instituted a lot of measures within the mining space to look at how we can creatively mine and enrich our ore body from the low grade to possibly a better grade, if not the high grade. So there is a effort to improve the margins. It is not something that is quantifiable. What can be quantified is we would like to start the business only when we are in the money. So it is going to be effort, and all I see is that in the next 3 months, as the monsoon peters and we start commencing, we'll be in a more better position to understand how all the players have come to the party, and especially the role to be played by taxes and duties is important, because above the line, even today, these state taxes, both the central and the state government, is as high as about 50 to 60%. So whether it's export duty or the district mineral fund or the Goa permanent fund, the royalties, all of them are not comparable with global best in class. So if at all India has to compete, India must be competing on fair grounds and with similar tax regime, and allow people in Goa, especially in Goa where we have low-grade iron ore which cannot be consumed by the local steel mills. These need to be exported. It is largely exported to countries like China, Japan, Korea. So that has to be done with the involvement of all stakeholders to give us a contribution towards the economics of this business.
So have you identified buyers now that you are starting? How many buyers have you identified, and how soon can you be exporting these minerals from the shores of Goa?
Okay. SESA has a long history of mining, and therefore SESA for the last, I would say, 50 years, and this mine is almost 45 years mine. So the cargo from this country has gone to various steel mills across the globe. And way back in history, Goa's first ore from Sesa left for the mills in Europe. So that is a very proud heritage, and a lot of steel mills are anxious to wait for this today, and they have been discussing with us about possibilities for exporting the auctioned ore. In fact, a lot of ore is lying with the government today. So if the government can come up with auctions, and even today we should be in a position to work and market all our produce with various buyers. And it is a difficult challenge, and I'm not saying it is going to be over. The marketing teams are on the job. We expect that hopefully the first cargo that we will start making from here, we should be in a position to ship early next year in terms of markets in China and in Japan. But having said that, the market shares have been taken by Brazil, Australia, South Africa.
Yeah.
So it is going to be an effort which India and the Indian exporters have to work and try to regain back, and therefore the appeal to the government is put us on a level playing field where a low-grade producer like India, we will be able to compete with global high-grade producers.
That's right. You have spoken about high taxes for the mining industry. Now that you have a district mineral fund as well as Goa mineral fund, permanent fund created by the Supreme Court. So how will you manage that? Will you be seeking government's help on bringing down one of the two taxes, and which one will be beneficial for low-grade iron ore miners here in Goa?
See, the Goa Permanent Fund was actually imposed by the Supreme Court judgment, and it was imposed at a time when the Minerals Development Bill, MMRD Bill, was not yet in vogue. So since that, Parliament has approved the new bill, and the new bill comes with a similar set of taxes for district development. So I think the Goa state, as Mr. Chief Minister has just now assured in his speech, that he is taking up the matter with and appealing to the Supreme Court that once there's no duplication of taxes and penalize an industry. So I am hopeful that in the next 1 to 2 quarters you should hear something on this matter.
Is 10% export duty enough for companies to survive in this scenario?
No, certainly not. This 10% export duty at the current prices. See, we can have any amount of taxes and duties. If we're not going to collect a single farthing from that, it has got no use. So as long as we believe that this tax is onerous on the business, and we have appealed also to the Ministry of Finance, to the Ministry of Mines, that this tax of 10% and 58% FE and below is actually very onerous, and we need that to be removed.
So many people have lost their jobs in the past 3 years. So could you give us an understanding about how many jobs have been lost through the 3 years, and how many people are working with CESA, and will you be looking at hiring new people in terms of scaling up your production levels to 5.5 million ton per annum?
Okay, in the peak time, that is, I'm talking about 2010-11, we used to have, as CESA Goa, an iron ore business, we had almost 10,500 employees working, and it was one of the largest private sector companies in Goa. And since the meltdown, both the contract and the permanent laborers, we have shrunk our business almost to half in terms of employment. As we stand today, we are very keen to retain the best of talent that we have. But believe me, the talent will only remain if you start giving them jobs. So, and therefore, it is in all our interests that we begin retaining not only the talent, but also giving them an opportunity to become part of the mining industry. And some of the best miners and the best operators you will see who operate these mines are from the best of schools in India. So they have found themselves a good opportunity to work with us in Goa, and they are very hopeful, and you met most of them today. They are all very hopeful and waiting to go. So I think in the next 2 to 3 years period, some of the talent that left us should come back to us, and those who have gainfully employed other places would certainly miss Goa. And of course, we are waiting to scale up our operations from the EC limit of 20 to at least 40 million tons, and that would make Goa really attract the best of talent from the globe.
You have faced a similar problem in Karnataka, and now you're restarted in Goa. So how soon do you think your iron ore business for Vedanta will scale up to the heights which it had seen in the past years?
See, in terms of capacity, madam, the Karnataka has got a full EC of 6 million tons, and we are today sanctioned 2.29 million tons to start with, and which is what is going to be the current year's production. And in Goa at 5.5. Going forward, both these EC limits were applied for an increase. And it's rightly said by the Supreme Court in the Karnataka judgment recently is that once we exhaust the limits of Karnataka, which is 30 million tons overall, they will expect that most of the mines who have capacity to produce should be given the opportunity to exceed. So I think I'm very hopeful that in Karnataka, our application through the FIMI, which has been submitted to the CEC, the Central Empowered Committee, would be soon heard in the next couple of months, and there the limit should get revised upwards. But there are a lot more work to be done by our side in terms of expanding the mine. So both jobs are going parallel in Karnataka. And as far as we are concerned, we believe Karnataka as a state with a good amount of steel plants in and around Karnataka is also hopeful of coming up with their auction for some of the mines. And that also is in a very attractive stage where Vedanta would participate in some of the auctions and look forward to expanding its footprint.
So what is your FY16 target for production both in Goa and Karnataka? Your limit is 5.5, but what is the target which you will achieve by the end of fiscal year?
We will achieve this target for the current year, 5.5 and 2.29, which is the EC limit.
Wish you all the best with all your plans in Goa and Karnataka. See you sometime soon.
Thank you very much. All the very best.